Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be doing my Shop My Stash review for the month of October. So today I'm just going to be going through all the products that I picked out for October that I've been using all month and just giving my thoughts and a quick little review of them. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think I did okay this month using the products, so I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to film this video for next month. I'm undecided. You can let me know if you really want to see a November Shop My Stash. But I just kind of feel a little like there's a weight on my shoulders from like always having so many series and like specific videos I have to do rather than just doing whatever the heck I want. So I'm kind of in a weird space, but I'm excited about the products I'm going to be talking about today. The only thing is, and I'm kind of jumping the gun just a little bit by talking about this now, but I'm going to be using the Clionadh a stained glass collection, the ones that I personally purchased, and I did go ahead and by the time you're seeing this I already did an eye swatch video, and I'm going to do a full review in a separate video just because I felt like it would just be more beneficial to be in a separate video, and so I'm not sitting here like talking for like 30 minutes about these shadows. So that's going to be already live by the time you see this, so I'm not going to be going super in depth on those shadows while I do my eye makeup, but I'm just going to go ahead and do my face first actually today because slightly having a bad skin day, a bad skin week, a bad skin month. It's a mess, but it's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Physicians Formula Rose All Day Oil-Free Serum, which I've been using as my primer this month. I haven't used it every single day, but I've used a decent amount of it, and actually I would say I like it a lot more than I originally thought that I did. It's not necessarily advertised as being a primer, but it is a hydrating serum, and it has like a highlighting effect to it, which is a little bit strange for skincare. So I don't know if you can tell, but it has like a slight pink reflect to it, but it's actually not that bad. It's just a little bit. So I like this because it smells good, it hydrates the skin, it feels very smooth on the skin. And that's basically what I look for. I just want a primer that's hydrating, and that's it. I would say it probably wouldn't end up being my holy grail just because it smells good, which I like, but because it's like the very first step, it's my primer, I would prefer for it to not have such a strong scent, especially because I have sensitive skin. So, I mean, I can see myself continuing to use it and like it, but it's never going to be a holy grail, and I don't think I would repurchase it. So you can see it just gives a little bit of a glow to the skin, and it looks really nice and it feels smooth. So I just like the overall feeling of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation, and I have the shade LC1. I feel like I should have memorized that by now. I do like the fact that this foundation has SPF in it. I really enjoy that because then even though it's not the exact amount of SPF that you're supposed to have every single day, sometimes I do forget to put SPF on, or I just don't think I'm really going to be outside, or I'm like in the car for 5 minutes and that's it. So I do like that it does have a little bit of SPF because it's a little bit more than nothing basically, which I'm about. I think the color, as you can tell, is a little bit dark for me, but I think that I heard that they did expand their range. I need a foundation brush. So I don't know, I used to really like this foundation, and I do still like it, but I don't love it. It kind of has like a little bit of a glowy finish, but it's kind of weird because if you use it with a sponge that's denser and kind of hard and not the kind of sponge I go for, it looks so much better on the skin. But I've noticed when I use it with a really fluffy, just soft, just like delicious little, like the way that you want a sponge to be, it soaks up all the product and it has like no coverage and it doesn't even look good. It looks patchy. So I feel like it's a little bit high maintenance, I guess I would say. You have to be careful about what type of tool you're blending it in with. I just went ahead and did a brush today to be safe and easy. So I don't mind the finish, like it's nice, but I don't know, for some reason it just doesn't do it all the way for me. There's other things that I like more. So many other foundations I would prefer, especially if I was going for something similar to this that has like the same kind of finish, same amount of coverage, but just more beautiful, would be the Cosmetics My Skin But Better CC Cream. I absolutely love that, and I know that it's like a much higher price point, but I would prefer that any day over this. I mean, Maybe it's because of the shade. Maybe that's why I just don't like it. It's just because the shade is off. It's not a bad foundation. I don't dislike it. I've recommended it to people in the past. I think that it'd be really good if you have normal skin or like normal to oily if you want a really dewy look. But just for being dry, I don't know. There's something, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's older, because when I first had it, I really liked it. And I thought it was a dupe for the IT Cosmetics foundation, or a CC cream technically, but it's more of a foundation. But just using it this month and this go around, I just don't like it as much. But then again, maybe it's because I've been using it only with this primer. That might have been my fatal flaw. You know what? I'm going to keep testing this out, and I'm going to use it with a different primer that I like more and see if that makes a difference. So now I'm going to go into the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Snow. So I've been using this the last few months, and I just wanted to add it as my Shop My Stash to get more use out of it, and to be able to give a complete like review of it. I don't really love it with this foundation just because the foundation's darker than my skin and the concealer's lighter, so it looks a little bit, actually I'm not even going to put it there. I'm going to use my little NARS concealer to help with the acne a little bit because it's more close to my skin tone. Anyways, I do really like this concealer. I have decided, I don't know why it took me so long to decide, because a lot of things I use like 1 or 2 times and I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this, or I really don't like it. I think that it has a decent amount of coverage. I would call it more of a medium coverage. I don't know. I think I like it because it doesn't look super dry underneath the eyes. I wouldn't say it looks dewy either. It's kind of a nice in-between. However, I always come back to this. If I had to choose between this concealer and the Tarte Shape Tape, I think I would still choose the Tarte Shape Tape. And I know people all the time say that that is so dry underneath the eyes, but I just don't have that experience. Maybe it's because I only use a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape, but I love that concealer so much, and I just love the way it looks. Like, the finish is just so nice, and I don't even have to set it with powder, which I actually don't set this one with powder a lot either, and it doesn't mess up for me. But anyways, my final thoughts for the Too Faced concealer would be that I do like it, but again, not a holy grail, probably not something I would repurchase. I didn't have a powder in this month's Shop My Stash, but I'm just going to go ahead and take the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana bronzer, which is not a bronzer. It's like a very light, slightly dewy looking powder. So I'm just going to lightly set my face with that. Alright, now I'm going to go into my Kevyn Aucoin Contour Book Volume 2, I think is what it was called. I didn't reach for this a whole ton. I probably should have reached for it more, but I do really like this color still. I mean, you can see it has like just a slight cool tone to it. Most of the time, I do like to go ahead and do like whatever I'm using for contour as like bronzer and contour. So I'll start off and then I'll just throw it, you know, around my forehead and kind of just dust it a little bit more. I know contour and bronzing are not the same thing per se, but I like to make it the same thing for me because I'm lazy. I also do really like the combination of these two highlighters in here. They make a really nice soft highlight, but again, I just stink at reaching for them. So yeah, I think that this would definitely be the product I did the worst in this month. Alright, for blush, I'm taking my little blush palette from Tarte, and it was really interesting reading your responses in my Shop My Stash intro because I asked y'all if you thought that Tarte blushes were worth the price individually, and pretty much everyone agreed with me that they are not and that they would not buy them individually. So I feel a little less crazy, and I do like this palette. I will continue to hold on to it. It's the only Tarte blush palette I have, and it's, I mean, if I want blushes, sometimes I'll reach for this. If this was still available, like, I wouldn't recommend it, I don't think, because it's a blush palette. Honestly, I think I like the Morphe ones better, to be real. So I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here called Dollface, which is a soft pink, which is going to go with the more cool tone look that I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to throw that on my cheeks. Alright, now jumping into eyes. I already primed with my Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in the shade Illustrate. So like I said, I'm going to be using the shimmers from Cliona, but I have the Makeup Slave Autumn Equinox palette, which I wanted to pull back out for fall because it is such a cute little fall palette. Here's what it looks like. And I have been enjoying using this. I think that it is such a nice little palette, and it kind of makes me sad because I really want to see more from Makeup Slave. I want to see growth for them. I want to see more people like just know about them and all the things. I want good things for them, and I think that their formula is really nice, and the color story of this is so beautiful. I don't know, I feel like they've been a little quiet. So in my intro, I did a really warm look. So today I want to go ahead and focus more on the purples and the blue. So I'm going to start off with this matte light shade right here. So just be warned, if you do try any of their matte shades, they have a ton of kick up, but they are really easy to blend in my opinion. Decent pigmentation. I don't even know if I said what I'm doing, but I'm just throwing that shade in my crease and blending it out. I'm also going to go ahead and take that shade along my lower lash line on the outer half. Just going to take my blending brush and just soften that a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to go into this purple here, and I'm going to put that a little bit lower down in my crease. I'm also just going to take a touch of that on the outer part of my lower lash line. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and go into the deeper matte blue, and I'm going to pop that into my outer V. Did you guys hear that? I wonder if that picked it up. I literally hate thunderstorms, so I'm kind of dying a little. Alright, so now that we're done with the mattes, we can move on to the shimmers, which is definitely the fun part in my opinion. So I think I'm going to use like 4 different shades today. I'm going to go ahead and start off with this color right here called Keystone. And I'm going to be applying that to the outer half of my lid. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here, which is called Ripple. And I'm going to pop that onto the front of my lid. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take Kaleidoscope right here. I'm going to pop that onto the little front part of my lower lash line. Alright, last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here, which is called Glow. So just prepare yourself because this is so intense, it's crazy. Alright, so I know it looks intense, but I feel like I don't really love how that brush was applying it, so I'm going to be as precise and as careful as I possibly can, and I'm going to just take a little tiny stab on my pinky, and just going to pop that on the inner corner. Alright, so there is the eyeshadow. Quickly off camera, I'm going to go ahead and use the City Color City Chic eyeliner in the shade Lagoon, and then the Better Than Sex mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm really liking the look. So for my Shop My Stash, I chose one highlighter, which was the Gerard Cosmetics highlight in the shade Grace, which is a really nice highlighter. I do like this. I think it's beautiful. It has a really nice glow to it. It's kind of a soft, like golden tone. It's a really pretty highlight. But again, I just feel like it's not holy grail, and like if it was between reaching for this and reaching for an Ofra highlighter, I would rather reach for Ofra. I just feel like they look smoother and just so glowy on the skin. So I like this and I'll use it time from time. I'm happy that I have it, but I'm kind of not really wanting to use it right now in this moment because it is such a golden highlighter and I do have like a full cool tone look going on. So I thought I'd go ahead and grab back into the Kevyn Aucoin palette, and I would use the Candlelight Cream and the Candlelight Powder and do a little mixture of that, and then maybe I'll add a mixture of these two eyeshadows in Brighten and Starlight to give it a little bit more oomph. We'll see. I'm just going to go ahead and use my finger For the cream, the thing is with these is because they are kind of old and they're like this weird cream texture, you do kind of have to rub for a second and like let the warmth of your finger get the product emollient. Is that the word? I just kicked my camera. Alright, so I'm going to go in with the cream first, which does just give a really, really natural glow. I am being careful as I place it down and just patting very gently since I did already go in with powder underneath this, and typically you're supposed to do cream products before powder. This is the kind of highlight that I like to put all over my nose to look oily. Alright, now taking the powder, just going to put that over top. It's basically going to set the cream, and again, it's just a very natural looking highlight. Alright, so I'm going to dip into the tiniest little bit of Starlight for a touch of a pink tone and then brighten. And I'm going to put that on the tip of my cheekbone. Kind of amazes me that this palette is honestly still so good and like such good quality, and how good it's held itself over time, especially considering there are creams in here, which is kind of gross because I've had this for 2015. I think I've had this for like 4, maybe going on 5 years. How long is this supposed to be good for? It doesn't say, so I guess it lasts forever. Alright, so for lips this month, I chose 3 different lip options, and I feel like I actually did good because I wore all of them. I wore 2 of them multiple times, so I wore the Dose of Colors Aesthetic, which I've really been loving. I just love the tone of it. I did include this in like my top 10 fall lippies. It's just such a beautiful color. Just a nice rusty orangey red. And then I also Makeup Geek Shy Iconic lipstick, which looks like this. I wore, and it's a nice lipstick. It is a little bit darker than what I normally go for, so I kind of tend to blot it off just because I like a really nice light nude. But I do really like the finish of this lipstick, and I like the formula, and I'm kind of curious if they have other nude lipstick options. Not that I need any more lipstick, but I do really like the formula of that. And then I also have the Bite Beauty lipstick in Taurus, which I only wore once. Just looks like these, and it's just a nice kind of mauvey, cooler toned lipstick, I would say. I don't know, it's a really nice neutral, so I figured I would go ahead and wear it today with this eye look and that it would go. Lipstick formula is not my absolute favorite, but I'm honestly a clown because that's what Karen Harris says every time she buys something for a stupid reason. She's like, I was a clown. Well, I was a clown because I bought this because it was a Taurus lipstick. I'm like, now I'm like, really, Amy, did it even matter? Like, I was so excited because it was Taurus and it was my side and it was my color. Like, I love colors like this. So I kind of went crazy, and now it's like, really, I bought another lipstick because it has that on it. Like, that was the reasoning. Alright, so this is the finished look with my October Shop My Stash. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.